We're in session in County Court, Alabama 2, Judge of Jefferson County. We're going to call our pretrial docket. First case that we're calling is cause number 326702, State of Texas versus Kyle Martin Franklin. We have Mr. Franklin appearing via Zoom. Mr. Franklin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Franklin, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, how are you doing?
We're doing fine, Your Honor.
Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Franklin's case?
Yes, Your Honor, we still believe that we're going to be able to work something out on Mr. Franklin's case, but I need to get with him. I asked for a very short reset. We're setting over the trial document.
Okay, this is maybe a 30-day reset?
Yes.
Okay.
November 29th.
Okay, the case is gonna be reset to November 29th of 2021. Mr. Macon, you ready for him to sign that reset? Okay, and Mr. Franklin, your case is being reset to November 29th of 2021. Your attorney is being given a copy of the reset notice. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, sir. You do the same.
Okay. Thank you. Caleb. Okay, we're in session in cause number 323222, State of Texas versus Caleb Thomas Quinn. Mr. Quinn, how are you doing?
Good, are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Quinn, you represent here by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Quinn's case?
It's the same as Mr. Franklin, Your Honor. I'd asked for the short reset.
Same date?
Allow me to get with, yes, Your Honor, that would be good.
Okay, we're gonna reset your case, Mr. Quinn, till November 29th of 2021. Your attorney is gonna sign your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Bailiff, on the announcement docket, page 3, you have Donald James and Glenn Omholz. Once you go get those two, and in the meantime, we're going to call, we're back on Zoom. We're going to call Christian Leah Fuller, cause number 322293. Ms. Fuller, you could take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, Ms. Fuller, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd
I
like
do,
to
Your
make,
Honor.
Ms.
Ms.
Fuller?
Fuller is going to be at Plea.
Okay, you want to
Set that
reset?
over on a plea.
Same date?
Would be fine. Your Honor.
Okay, we're gonna reset it till the same date, November 29th of 2021. Ms. Fuller, your case is being
Yes,
reset
sir.
to November 29th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney and,
Yes, sir.
and also stay in contact with your bondsman. Your attorney will be given a copy of the reset. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You have a blessed day too, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Macon, would you sign the reset? Donald James. So James, would you come forward? This is cause number 324-884. Case is style of State of Texas versus Donald Leroy James. Mr. James, how are you doing?
Thank you, sir.
That's good. Mr. James, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. James' case?
It'll be the same, Your Honor, if we could set him on November 29th also.
Okay. Mr. James, your case is going to be reset to November 29th of 2021. Your attorney is going to be given a copy of your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Sure. You can go and go call the office, come see.
Mr. Bailiff, is Glenn almost there?
No.
You can call him today.
Oh, okay. What about, he had another, Mr. Macon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sign. Did ABL Cantu arrive on the pretrial conference docket? That's another one of Mr. Macon's clients. ABL Cantu. The second one on the pretrial conference docket.
No.
All right. Are we ready on, what happened to the?
One of them disappeared, I don't know.
That's great. Do y'all still, say one of the cases just disappeared off the,
It only shows one on ours too, Judge.
it had two. It wasn't reset, was it?
I'll look and see. There was two up there, and when I saved it, it did disappear though. One of them disappeared, and then I did the next one, but it didn't go back or anything. It wasn't sent back, so I don't know what. When I saved it, it just disappeared. Like it went pink
We in session and cause number 324-906. Case is style of State of Texas versus James Blackshear III. Mr. Blackshear, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Blackshear. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Paget, your client's case is on the court's pretrial conference plea docket. You have an announcement you'd like to make in
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Blackshear's case?
We have an agreement worked out with the state for $749 restitution to the complaining witness. Upon payment of that, the case will be dismissed
Okay, so we're gonna reset for payment of restitution.
unless my client has it today.
You have it? Okay, so I guess he just need Miss Maxey could tell him where he needs to go. And, or Mr. Daniel Boyd,
So he does have it to pay. Does he have a cashier check or?
money
I
order.
made out to the person I talked to.
He said just, she must have his working.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, as long as it's made out to.
Okay,
Write my name, give it to us, tell them write her name on it.
I think it, you're gonna, does that go upstairs to the DA's office?
Yes, Your Honor, and actually Miss Sonia's at the front desk, so if you'll go up these stairs right here to the third floor, the DA's office, there'll be the glass right there. If you'll go let Miss Sonia right there know that you're trying to make a payment, and let me write.
Hand me the money order and I'll write the name down.
Name down there.
I have the complaint.
Call number, and then I'll text her real quick to let her know.
Okay,
It's all here.
all right. Just follow the directions of Mr. Boyd. And then once you do that, I guess they're gonna give you a receipt. You're gonna come back down here and give it to your attorney. Okay, so you can present it to the court.
Your Honor, could he have a seat right here and sign these two documents?
Okay,
Is it okay if he has a seat right here? Okay, let's see.
Daniel Martinez. This is cause number 328234. Case of style of State of Texas versus Daniel Antonio Martinez. Mr. Martinez, how are you doing?
Pretty good, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Martinez. You're here with your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, Mr. Martinez case is on a trial docket. And actually, this is not one of the court's trial weeks.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Boyd made me aware of that
Okay.
this morning. This is our first conversation about the case.
Okay.
It's going to stay on your trial.
Okay, let's give him a reset date for a trial.
January 17th.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, your case is going to be reset to January 17th of 2022 for trial. Your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go over here and sign
Yes,
the
sir.
reset.
Is it okay for you to go now?
Mr. Reynolds?
Couple of announcements, Judge.
Yes, hold on, let's see, we're gonna see if the bailiff can get you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ethan Smith, Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Ethan Smith?
But, you know, he was in drug court this morning.
Yeah, I see. We have it on our docket.
And his case has been reset. in drug court.
Mrs. Ethan Smith, this is cause number 329262. Case is style, the state of Texas versus Ethan Smith. How you doing, Mr. Smith? You doing all right? Okay, now, Mr. Smith, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Reynolds, you mentioned that Mr. Smith's felony case was reset. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I believe he was there this morning. They reset his case. And we'd asked that this case be reset to the announcement docket.
On the same date?
Yes, sir.
What date is that?
The first of next month.
Is it November 1st? 11/1, that's November 1st, right? Okay, that's all I need to know. Okay, let's reset his case to November 1st of 2021, keeping it on the announcement docket.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hold on, she's on the phone. Announcement docket, reset to November. This is Ethan Smith, page 6, the first case. We're gonna reset it to the announcement docket on 11/1.
Yes, sir. Alright. Okay, yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Reynolds, your next case, Monica Joe, that case is going to be dismissed.
She's present. I understood it was gonna be dismissed.
This is cause number 328298. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Monica Marie Joe. Ms. Joe, how are you doing? That's good. Ms. Joe, the state has dismissed your case, and I'm signing the dismissal. Right now, it's actually printing off. Once you get a copy of your dismissal from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
That's your last case, Mr. Reynolds?
Daniel Briggs.
What docket is he on? Briggs? Yes. He's not here.
He's got a felony case also, Judge, in the CDC.
Okay, so when he finished there, well, that felony case is not set until January 24th of 2022. Would you please call the name of Daniel Briggs?
Maybe in custody. Judge.
I don't see where he's in custody. It doesn't say that he's in custody. I don't see a bondsman on this case.
Yeah, everything I've always got on him, Judge, he's been in jail.
Yeah, I don't even see a bondsman on this case. Burley, could you look up, it's Daniel Briggs on page 1 of the announcement document at the bottom. He has 2 cases. I don't see a bondsman listed on the docket.
It says guaranteed payment.
I don't see his name on the docket. Normally, his name, their name would be on the docket.
Yeah, it isn't attached to the case. It's on the register.
Was he, do we know if he was given notice of this hearing, of this court date? Because normally when the name is not on the docket sheet, that's one indication that he may have not received notice.
He's always been in jail. I don't have a contact information for him other than jail.
I don't know, I'm just. What you going?
It won't let me in on here to check if he received. notice.
Okay, she's gonna go check that. Normally, they usually have the bondsman's name next to, that's how we know that they received notice. Sometimes when they don't have that name, that means they didn't attach the case to the bondsman, and maybe notice may have not been given. I don't know. We'll find out. See, Alex Bill is representing him on his felony.
I went down there and it was locked.
Yeah, but it's
He's not set till January.
yeah, January 24th, 2022. Mr. Dole, your case, let's see, you had a case that was, you had it reset, but it's been dismissed. Our court coordinator could give you a copy of that reset. A person named Amanda Keenan,
Yes, sir.
the state dismissed that this morning.
Okay.
Okay, so when our coordinator comes out, once she finished with Mr. Reynolds, she can give you a copy of that dismissal.
Also, Randy Johnson was his case.
Oh, Randy Johnson that's been dismissed too.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll get it whenever they come.
yeah.
Where's the black?
Yeah, so that Mr. Reynolds,
Yes, sir.
they say he didn't receive notice, so we're not gonna forfeit the bond. We're gonna just reset the case. Matter of fact, You want to reset on the same day of the felony?
That would be great, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna reset it on the same day of the felony. You can get your reset.
Okay, I'll try to find you.
Okay, once you get your reset, yeah, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Is that on the board?
Yes. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Where those two dismissals that just came off, they're both for Peter Dawes' client. Mr. Dawes,
Okay.
would you come on out?
Yes, I was gonna ask you one question.
Just stand, she can give you, that's Mr. Dawes. You can give him his,
Both of them?
yeah, both his dismissals.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. I will send it in. Do you want me?
Okay. Okay. Mr. Swallow,
Yes, Judge. My client is here, Mr. Furlow.
yes, hold on a minute. Let's see. We're in session and cause number 324-378-1, 324-380-1, and cause number 324-472. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Drake Dalton Furlow. We have Mr. Furlow appearing via Zoom. Mr. Furlow, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Your Honor. How about you?
I'm doing fine, and thanks for being patient with us, Mr. Furlow.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Swallow, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right, and you thank you for being patient with us as well. Mr. Swallow, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Furlow's cases?
Yes, Judge. I think I've informed the court before that this is Mr. Ken Furlow's grandson, and I took over the case basically at the very beginning because Mr. Furlow was unable to represent him all the way through due to illness. And since then, we had talked to a prosecutor and had kind of tentatively worked out a deal to where that some time that he was going to get up north in county jail would be applied here. He went and did that time. Then there was nothing formally written in the file. And now I'm being told, well, that agreement wasn't written in the file by the previous prosecutor. So I haven't had a chance to talk with the DA's office and see if we can work this out. We anticipate it's going to be a plea. The judge, also, I'll tell you that I took a job arbitrating disputes between the Postal Service and their union, and I'm traveling all over the country. And I'm extremely busy through the end of the year. And I know that's not the court's concern, but I would ask the court to indulge me and potentially give me until January to get with the DA's office and try to figure this out. I mean, I told Mr. Furlow what the deal was, and now I'm going to go back. I just don't know what to do. This has never happened before.
Okay,
So
who's the prosecutor? Okay, now, Ms. Max, do you have any objections to the case being reset till January? Give me
I
10.
don't have any objections, Your Honor.
Okay,
and Judge, I can tell you that the first week in January I'm available. I'm double booked for all over the country. The second week I'm available the 18th of January,
Ms. Jackson,
the 24th of January.
Ms. Case on the pretrial conference docket. Drake Furlow resetting, give us a reset first week of January. Okay, Mr. Swallow,
Yes,
your case, Mr. Furlough's cases will be reset to January 3rd of 2022.
yes, sir.
Your reset will be sent to you. Mr. Furlough, your case is reset to January 3rd of 2022. Stay in contact with your attorney, and you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Swallow, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge, and good seeing you. I hope you and yours stay safe. We'll see you
Okay,
soon.
thank you. Same to
Thank you,
you. and
Judge.
your family. All right, you're welcome. Mr. Adams, is
Hey, Judge, I'm ready.
Tanisha Green present?
No, she's not here. If you look at the docket, because I met with her yesterday, it has the felony, and all I was asking her to do is to research
Well-
the felony. So I presume she's in felony court. Look where you see it on her jail screen, it's gonna have something about the felony. Mr. Boyd.
Yeah,
Right,
she's
in
in.
felony court, right?
She's set
Def-
your honor for today for felony court with
Okay.
Mr. Paget as her attorney on the felony state.
Right,
felony.
and I just
Okay.
want to keep my misdemeanor.
Okay, but when she needs to come over here, she need to make an appearance over here. She's here? Okay,
Right, so I just
Okay.
want to keep
Okay.
it together.
is that the only case you have?
That's all I got.
Okay, yeah, if she gets a reset, we'll reset it on the same day, but she needs to, make an appearance.
No problem.
All right, we'll see you later. All right, you have a blessed day.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, Mr. Bailiff, would you please call Trevin Canova?
Yes, Judge, he's pronounced.
Canova? He's second from the bottom on the pretrial conference docket. If we're in session in clause number 326-360, the case is style of State of Texas versus Trevin Wayne Canova. We have Mr. Canova present in court. Mr. Canova, how are you doing? That's good. Mr. Canova, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Todd LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, thanks.
That's good. Mr. LeBlanc, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Canova's case?
Yes, Judge, it's the same announcement. He's been
Approved for
accepted
pretrial.
pretrial diversions, and
When is he set to sign?
well, we can do it the next time, I guess, but we were trying to get him the last one. but-
So the next one is December.
Yeah,
Okay, so, Ms. Jackson,
The next pre-trial date is January 3rd.
yeah, so what we're gonna, no, the next pretrial date is December.
She wrote, she said that's open. The document.
She said that, who said it wasn't open?
That's the knowledge channel.
It may be full, they may not.
So the next one will be in February.
It's January 3rd.
I thought they do it every other month.
Usually be months, unless they may be changing next year, or maybe every month next year, because there is a bunch of people signed, they may go back to every month next year.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know.
okay, put him in the second week of January then, if it's
I hadn't
January.
heard that, but that's probably correct if they called down and left a note to.
Okay. Put in a second week in January. Trevin Canova, he's on the second from the bottom on the pretrial conference docket. Is for, you gonna set him on the plea docket? Or
It only has January 3rd and January 31st.
Put him on the 3rd. Well, just put him on the 3rd. That's, what day of the week is that?
He'll pay that.
That is on Monday?
You only say, you said the dates is only January 3rd and January 31st.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna have trial weeks to next week?
He's moving to the trial document?
No, he's not on the trial
Okay,
docket.
look, that's the-
The trial docket might be the 3rd and the 31st.
The trial document you have the 17th and the 3rd.
I just can't see how docket could be blank. Just do this here, because the day is Monday. Put him on the 10th.
Of June.
When is MLK Day? That's 15th. That's the 15th, isn't it? What day is that? When is the holiday?
Is it the second Monday in January? No.
That would be the 10th.
Yes, I think it's.
I mean, is the 10th? Put him on the 17th then. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, put him on the 17th. Yeah, you sure? See, because his birthday is on
I always thought it was.
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. No, it's the ML King Day is the 17th. Put him on the 10th. So, Mr. Canova, your case is gonna be reset to
I can't, she must have it closed. It won't let me set it on the. Since that's not.
okay.
I can-
Well, just put it on the 31st, whatever date is open.
What is that?
It said now you couldn't put it there because it said it locked you out.
Miss Trina told me Friday.
You know, let me ask you, did it lock you out?
Like the date's not open for me to put anything on.
I'm just saying, but I'm saying if you put something on it, it prevents you from putting
Yeah.
something, okay. What date is that in January?
Not letting me put them on either.
Put them in this, just put them in December.
Okay.
Yeah, just give them a December date. Put it like the second week of December, do that.
December 13th.
Okay, Mr. LeBlanc's gonna be reset to December 13th of 2021. Once you get your reset, you and your client will be free to go. And, Mr. Canova, you have a blessed day. Mr. LeBlanc, you have a blessed day as well.
Okay, it's fine.
Is Alan Rosemore present? Mr. Bailey, could you please call the name of Alan Rosemore? It's on the trial docket, the first case. It's cause number 319690. Case is style of State of Texas versus Alan Rosemore. Mr. Rosemore, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Rosemore, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Ryan Matuska. Mr. Matuska, how are you doing? Mr. Matuska, Mr. Rosemore's case is on the trial docket. Today is not one of our trial dates. What do you want to do with this case? You want to keep it on the trial docket?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give us a trial date.
January 17th.
Okay. Okay, case is gonna be reset to January 17th of 2022. Mr. Rosemore, you're gonna get a reset from your attorney. Once you get the reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And Mr. Matuska, please sign the reset.
Yes, sir.
Eustace Archibald,
Oh, I thought he was in three. And
he's here.
I actually called Judge Woods last week and I thought they checked and authorized that he had a job in Florida. And I talked to Judge Woods about it. And that's my mistake, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, this must have been a case that's transferred from 3.
It must have been
Yeah,
Judge.
because it has the odd numbers on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I did call Judge Woods and he said he did have to show up today because he was working on a job in Florida for 3 weeks.
okay.
I didn't know it was transferred.
So it was reset. Did they reset it or what
They said they were gonna reset it today, but Judge is out with his grandma's funeral, I think.
I can look on AS400. Nothing was changed in AS400.
Okay, maybe he left okay. We gotta wait till she comes back.
right anymore.
Oh. Happens to me. Good morning. This is call number 327-296. Case of style of state of Texas versus Douglas Paul Ames. Is that correct?
Yes, that's me. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Ames, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Ames, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Ryan Gertz. Mr. Gertz, how are you doing?
Right, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Ames, your case has been dismissed. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. You have a blessed day yourself.
All right, thank you. You see if David
He's here.
Mangua? How is his last name pronounced?
Munguia.
Mangia. Mangia. Okay. We're in session at clause number 325304. The case is style of State of Texas versus David Mangia. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir. David Munguia.
How you doing, Mr. Mangia?
I'm doing, sir.
You doing fine? Mr. Mangia, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Rojas, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Mangia's case?
I believe we are on the trial docket, Judge. It's still a trial.
Okay, okay. Hold on a minute. We'll give you another trial date.
That'll be January 17th.
Okay. Mr. Rojas, Mr. Mangia's case is going to be reset to January 17th. Mr. Rojas, you can go over there and sign the reset. Mr. Mangia, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thanks, sir. You too.
Okay. Stand over there. He's gonna go. Would you please get Jeffrey Dubon? You see her?
He's here.
We're in session in clause number 327442. Okay, so please. Case is style Jeffrey Dubon. Mr. Dubon, would you please raise your right hand?
I may have to translate for him, Judge. I think it'll go quicker that way. He speaks
Okay.
a little bit of English, but
Okay. Mr. Rojas, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Rojas, do you swear or affirm to translate English to Spanish to Spanish to English to help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Mr. Rojas, ask Mr. Dubon, is his full name Jeffrey Dubon?
Yes.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. Dubon?
Very good.
Okay, Mr. Dubon, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Dubon, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Hey, you may put your hand down. Let's see. Mr. Dubon, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about July 4th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fugitive from justice. Mr. Dubon, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Dubon, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Dubon, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, which is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Now, there are a set of initials at the bottom of this document, JD. Are these your initials?
Yes.
And these initials are next to a paragraph that's titled Citizenship. I will go over this paragraph with you. If you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nola contendere may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization. Mr. Dubon, do you understand?
Yes,
And did your attorney go over this with you?
yes.
What country are you from?
Guatemala.
Guatemala? Okay, they're not on the list of notifications for the council. Mr. Dubon, on page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, JD, on the line next to a box that said guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes,
Mr. Dubon, there's a signature on page 3 of this document. Is that your signature?
yes.
Okay. Mr. Rojas, are you waiving a record in Mr. Dubon's case?
We are, Your Honor.
And Mr. Dubon, I have another document before me that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
yes,
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
yes,
Mr. Dubon, I also have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
yes,
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
yes.
Mr. Dubon, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents in Spanish?
Yes,
And did you understand everything that he went over?
yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. You like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, you have advised and counseled Mr. Dubon. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dubon, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes,
Mr. Dubon, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that your plea of guilty was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's a $600 fine plus court cost. And Mr. Dubon does have 2 days jail credit.
You have a judgment. Thank you. Mr. Dubon, the state is offering that you pay a $600 fine plus court costs of $287, which comes to a total of $887. You will also be given credit for 2 days in jail, which means that $200 will be subtracted from the $887. So the total amount that you would have to pay is $687. would you be able to pay the $687
Yes.
today? Okay. Now, Mr. Dubon, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Dubon, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Dubon, please stand on the X next to your attorney. Follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. Well, you'll be free to go to pay the fine and court costs, and then you'll have to come back with a receipt. And then once you finish doing that, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Rojas, you have any other cases?
I do have one judge on the announcement docket, Mr. Frederick Hampton. He is incarcerated. I think he has a felony pending at the same time.
Okay, yes. So that case will be reset with his felony.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome.
I think that's all I have.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
A lot of my clients don't answer the phone if they don't know who's calling. So I called his number and nobody answered his phone. Therefore, I'm gonna go back to my office and call.
That's fine.
I'm just making sure that we have until 4 o'clock to straighten. this
Yes,
out.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Galmore?
Yes, Your Honor. I just have one case on the docket.
Yes.
Bring the receipt back.
Thank you.
Jorge Gonzalez, could you go get Jorge Gonzalez?
Judge, I want to get this signed. I thought it had already been done, but it has not. Do I need to e-file this?
Yes.
In order to get it to your desk?
Yes. Mr. Gonzalez, you can come forward. Mr. Galmore? This is cause number 325-296, case of style, the state of Texas versus Jorge Bo Gonzalez. How you doing, Mr. Gonzalez?
Fine.
That's good, Mr. Gonzalez, you're here with your attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore. Mr. Galmore, how you doing?
Great, Judge. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Galmore, case was set on a trial docket, but we do not have a trial docket scheduled. This is not our schedule. You like to keep it on the trial docket?
We would, Your Honor. We're in negotiations with the state. Maybe we can work it out next time we come back.
Okay.
But we would like to keep it on that.
Okay. Can you get?
January 17th.
Okay, the case is going to be reset January 17th. Mr. Gonzalez, your attorney is going to get a reset. Once he gets his reset, give it to you. You'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, you can sign over there on the X. And Mr. Galmore, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day. And Ms. Green. Okay, how you doing there? Ms. Green, we're in session in cause number 326-422, cause number 326-692, cause number 328-106, cause number 328-472, cause number 329-666, cause number 330-046, all The 6 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Tanisha Dial Green. Is that your full name?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Green, what happened with your felony case? Did they give you a date?
Next 30 days.
Did they give you a specific date? Did they tell you what date it was gonna be reset to?
My lawyer told me 30 days.
Okay, could you check in the computer to see, stand over here on the 4X? She's gonna check to see what that date is. In this case, is gonna get reset with your felony case. Now, if they don't have a date in there yet, then they'll probably put it in sometime this afternoon and we'll check. And then we'll send a reset to your attorney and your bondsman will also get a reset. All right, stand on the 4X. Mr. Burbank, you have a case?
Chester Kelly, Your Honor. On the, believe the trial docket.
Yes. Okay, is he, do you have his plea ready? Okay. Have to get the bailiff to get Mr. Kelly in here. Bailiff, would you get Chester Kelly?
Butler, 329-164. Does it show up now? All right.
Kelly, you can come forward. We're in session in cause number 325-174. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Chester Kelly. Is that your full name?
Yes. Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Kelly?
Doing great. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Kelly, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Kelly, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Burbank, Mr. Tom Burbank. Mr. Burbank, how are you doing? Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Kelly's case?
We do.
Mr. Kelly, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about September 29th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Kelly, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Kelly, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Mr. Kelly, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Kelly, there are 2 sets of initials. One set is for your attorney, and the second set of initials, CJK. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page of the same document, there's a signature. Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, it's titled trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly, I also have another document before me. This document is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Kelly, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor, and also like to offer states to the probable cause affidavit.
Any objections?
No objections to stage 1 or 2, Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Burbank, you have advised and counseled Mr. Kelly. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kelly, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The agreement is for 180 days probated over 18 months, a $750 fine,
Okay,
80 hours community service,
okay.
DWI education,
UWI, okay.
drug and alcohol assessment,
Sure.
and interlock device.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in jail, but you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation. You have that judgment for 18 months. Okay. And during the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs. The total fine and court cost is $1,157. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And you will be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total amount that you would have to pay each month is $145 a month. Will you be able to pay the $145 each month?
That's for everything?
Yeah, they added it up and, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you'll be able to pay $145 per month?
For 18 months?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. And you'll be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Mr. Kelly, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Kelly, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Sign the pin pad. Should be right there by now. You won't be able to see it, but I can see it on my screen. Okay, can you sign for me?
He also needs a thing for his bond.
Yes, I was gonna tell him he's got a cash bond. I don't have those files. They have them downstairs, so just let them know and they can pull it and get it. If you raise your right hand for me, and you swear that you've never been convicted and given deferred straight probation in this state or any other state?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you have no other criminal pending charges against you?
Mr. Bailiff, would you please go get Gretchen Butler?
Should go to the clerk's office to get the refund on your cash bond. Oh, Mr. Kelly? Okay, I'm sorry. Thought I gave you all one.
We're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 329-162. Second case is cause number 329-164. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Gretchen Suzanne Butler. Ms. Butler, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Butler?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Butler, you're here with your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor, for Monday.
Oh, that's good. Now, Mr. Macon, actually, Ms. Butler, I have before me cause number 329-162. And in the information, it alleges that on or about February 7th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Ms. Butler, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Butler, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes.
Ms. Butler, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Butler, there are two sets of initials, your attorney's set of initials, and then there's GB. Are these GB, are these your initials? Did you place these initials here?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is, well, on the same document, but the next page, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign this document where it says defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box check states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Ms. Butler, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Ms. Butler, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Butler, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Macon, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you've advised and counsel Ms. Butler in this case. Is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Butler, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Butler, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's a 180 days jail,
Okay,
probated over 15 months,
okay,
$800 fine,
$800 fine,
60 hours community service,
okay,
anger management,
okay,
no contact with the victim, Levi, Levi, Creekmore, Creekmore.
Ekmore.
Yes, sir. And it's to run concurrently with cause numbers 329164,
329164.
cause number 21-367
367.
67,
67. Okay.
and cause number 21-375 35.
Okay. All right. Ms. Butler, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $800 plus court costs of $307. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You also, now you'll be required to pay this in monthly installments of $155. Ms. Butler, do you understand? Will you be able to pay the $155 per month?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Butler, I must inform you that that may go down from $155 because if you're already on probation, you'll only be paying one probation fee. You won't be paying a probation fee in each case.
Okay.
So it may be reduced down by $60.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to pay a family violence center fee of $100 to a family violence center in Jefferson County. You will also be required to attend an anger management class. This case will run concurrent. I don't see those other case numbers on here.
They're felonies, Your Honor.
Yeah, but he said them, but I don't see. Oh, she didn't put the 2-1. Okay. It was supposed to be 2-1 before these last two numbers. 2-1 dash. Okay, this case will run concurrent with cause number 329164, cause number 21-36767, and cause number 21-37535. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Butler, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And to this, and do you think that the state's offer is, in your case, is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Butler, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Butler, I move on to your next case. Your second case is cause number 329-164. And in this case, Ms. Butler, the information alleges that on or about February 7 of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Ms. Butler, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Butler, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty? Ms. Butler, I have before me an information in this case. Well, actually, I have before me, Ms. Butler, State's Exhibit number 1, which is the misdemeanor plea admonishments. And Ms. Butler, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Butler, there are 2 sets of initials. One set is your attorney's initials, the other set, GB. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
And also, on the next document, the trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. You understand that? And the next document I have is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Ms. Butler, prior to signing initially in these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection, State's 1.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you've advised and counseled Ms. Butler, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Butler, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Butler, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
180 days jail, probated over 15 months, $800 fine, 60 hours community service,
Okay.
anger management, and no contact with the victim, Ashley Curtis, Curtice. And this is to run concurrently with cause numbers 329-162. Cause number 21-36767. And cause number 21-37535.
Okay, Ms. Butler, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $800 plus court costs of $307, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,000 $107. You also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And your total monthly installments for this case will be $95 per month. Ms. Butler, will you be able to pay the $95 each month? And Ms. Butler, you also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with Ashley Curtis. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 329162 and cause number 21-36767 and cause number 21-37535. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Ms. Butler, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Butler, the first case that you have is an assault family violence. So in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you or warns you of the following, and I think I gave this admonishment to your attorney to give to you. I will go over this document with you, and it reads, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Ms. Butler, the written admonishment is for you to keep for your records. This will conclude your cases here. Please stand on the X next to your attorney. And follow the directions of the clerk. And once you finish following the clerk's directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Just have a seat.
It's up to you. Okay, I'm about
Mr. Bailiff, you can get Mr. Kimler's client, Stephen Skinner, Kiana Ozan, Stephen Sadler. You could have them in court. That's on that day on the trial document.
November 7th, 2 o'clock.
That's on, you say Alexander and Primo?
Alexander and Freeman are both set for announcement here. They're both set at 2 o'clock. No out-
Okay,
out front, late. Big Freeman.
Alexander, yeah. Yeah, both are here. What's his name? You,
Sam.
Which-
Seth. Skinner.
okay, who's the prosecutor? Stephen Skinner.
Put your right thumb on the phone.
This is cause number 325-204. Case of style, State of Texas versus Stephen Paul Skinner. Is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Skinner?
He's a little sick today, Your Honor.
He's sick.
I don't think it's COVID, but
I'm sorry, you won't be able to see. Okay.
it's not COVID. It's not the symptoms of COVID. It's
Oh.
not respiratory. It's more of a gastrointestinal issue.
Oh, okay. Okay, now, Mr. Skinner, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Ralph Kimler. Mr. Kimler, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Kimler, this case was set on this docket, but today is not one of our trial docket dates that was
Raise your right
approved.
hand for me.
So what you want to do with this case?
Keep it on the trial.
Okay, Ms. Jackson, give us a try. It's going to be reset January 17 of 2022. Mr. Mr. Skinner, your attorney is going to give you reset. Once you give you reset, you'll be free to go. Once you go sign the tag, you go ahead on and sign it. So she has it up right now. I'm gonna call the next one.
You'll hit the sign?
Yeah, go sign it.
And there's your paperwork, and just report to probation. Thank you.
Miss-
Ready?
Okay, you can stand over there. She's gonna give you the reset. Is that, who's the next client? Is that Mr.
Sadler, I believe. Sadler?
Stephen Stadler? Would you come forward? This is cause number 327-050. Case is style of State of Texas versus Stephen Sadler. Mr. Sadler, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay, Mr. Sadler, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Wright Kimler. Mr. Kimler,
Yes, Your Honor.
what is your announcement in Mr. Sadler's case?
That's still a trial, Your Honor, except for trial today.
Okay, could you, Ms. Jackson,
Yes, sir.
give us a reset date?
What trial?
Yes, and,
January 7th.
okay, could you check to see if Mr. Sadler got bond conditions? Just looking at, could you look up to see if he got bond, and just look up his paperwork in his file, see if he has bond conditions in it? Cause number is 327-050.
No contacts when he's talking about. You have any contact with her, have you?
You see anything say bond conditions? That's them right there. No, what date was it? Yeah, he given.
September 25th, 2020.
Okay, so this case been around a while. Okay. Yeah, he was given those bond conditions last year. You remember, you need a copy of your bond conditions?
Yeah, because I don't remember.
Go ahead
There's
and print them
no
out.
contact with the victims.
Yeah, go ahead and print them out. Actually, we gave them to you last September of last year. Mr. Kimberly? Now, one of the conditions, you can't commit an offense against this state, any other state, or against the United States. Do you understand that condition? The other condition is the court can require that you be tested for drugs and alcohol at any time. And if you test positive for drugs or alcohol, or if you refuse to take a drug and alcohol test after the court required you take one, then your bond can be forfeited. And the third condition is you cannot have any contact with the victim. You cannot go near any school, residence, or any location that victim frequents. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now you need to read those conditions in your bond. If you violate any one of those conditions, your bond can be forfeited. And if your bond is forfeited, that simply means that you'll be placed in jail.
Okay.
All right. So you got your
That's ready to sign.
yeah, get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
All right, thanks.
That phone, Alexander? And you say, Mr. Alexander, I know, Mr. Alexander, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Mr. Alexander, your case, you have a felony case that is set today. Is it set this afternoon,
It's
Mr.?
set at 2 o'clock in drug court.
Okay.
Your Honor.
So you'll be free to go. Make sure you appear in drug court at 2 o'clock. Once you finish there, y'all need to come back over here to let us know what happened.
Okay.
If you know, all right, so you're free to go.
See you too.
Rachel Primo. You have a blessed day, Miss Alexander.
Thank you.
Ms. Primo, okay, this is cause number 329142. Case is filed in State of Texas versus Rachel Marie Primo. Ms. Primo, how are you doing? Now, Ms. Primo, your attorney, Mr. Wright Kimberly, has informed this court that you have to be in felony court this afternoon as well for 2. Okay, so I'm going to release you to go there for 2, and then when you finish with that case there, you're going to come back over here.
Okay.
All right, and you, all right, you have a blessed day.
You know what drug court is?
Yeah, the red thing.
Right, 2 o'clock.
And Mr. Kimler,
What did we do with Kiana Ozan? Your Honor?
that's what I was getting ready to call. Ozan, could you call Kiana Ozan?
So that's the fax that came through from the pharmacy. She's in the hospital.
Oh,
No.
she's in the hospital.
What happened
That's,
to her?
you could show him the facts. You can, yeah, you can go in, maybe you can go in the back with it.
Oh, that's fine, don't worry. Yeah, that's fine.
So that's gonna be reset.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you.
Okay, and Mr. Kimball, I think this is that was your last case?
Okay. All right, Your Honor, I'll bring them over after.
Okay.
Trial document. This side.
All right, you free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What I see, Mr. Boyd or Ms. Maxey, on the announcement docket, Cyrus Arion, I see a note say he was transferred to TDC, is that correct?
No, he's outside.
Oh. Oh. Oh, he's represented by Antoine Freeman. Yeah, that's what it said here.
It looks like you got a year stage deal, Your Honor, so he probably, that was in February.
I see, okay, he must have, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, your name is Cyrus Arion?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is cause number 318574, cause number 323698, and cause number 323700. Now, look, you have you had a felony case set today?
Yes, sir.
And also I see in your misdemeanor case that you're represented by attorney Antoine Freeman.
Yes, sir.
Have you talked to your attorney today?
No, sir. I haven't spoken because I was told if I'm not doing felony court, come back to misdemeanor.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you came. But we can't go forward on your case without your felony attorney, without your attorney. And so, do you have his number?
No, sir. I haven't spoken.
I'm just wondering if we have a number we
I've
can
been
get.
so focused on my felony charge.
I understand, but what I'm gonna do is, you got a cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she's gonna give you his number. You can step outside, give him a call and then come back in here.
He's got multiple cases, Jay.
I know, I see that, but I mean, his attorney is not here.
No, I mean Antoine has multiple clients.
Oh,
So
and he's not here. Okay.
he has those two.
Ms. Jackson. These are not none of the cases that was reset, and the attorneys called in or anything?
No, sir, you should, you're definitely.
Okay. Why he's not in court? He's supposed to be in court with you. Just tell him the court told him, they told you to contact him. I see that. Where is this other guy?
He didn't answer, so it went straight to voicemail. Wrong by the way.
Okay. Just have a seat in the gallery.
I'm not sure what we didn't, I don't know, Bruce Smith has been here.
His secretary has been in and out.
And we didn't do anything on Charles Lange or
What docket are you on?
trial.
Docket, let's see, you say Landry? Yeah, that was Peter Dahl. That case was, oh, he was going to his office to get in contact with him. Right. And Bruce Smith, Bruce Smith's client is here. That's on the trial docket.
Judge, Lance Owens, Lawyer Horizon.
Okay, hold on. Melvin Palmer, would you please come forward? Okay, this is cause number 329596. Case is style the state of Texas versus Melvin Ray Palmer. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Palmer, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay, Mr. Palmer, last time you was here, you was to hire an attorney. Have you hired your attorney?
Yeah, I do got one, but he was in felony court with me today. He ain't had time, man. He told me.
Well, who did you hire?
Marcus Wilkerson, my lawyer, who I already got.
So you hired him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, he hasn't sent us no letter of representation, which means to inform us that he has been hired.
Yes, sir.
So,
I just told him tonight on Mr. Holmes, I did.
okay, so we're going to reset your case.
He just told me to get something about, get a copy of the cause number and bring it to the office, so that's what.
Okay, Ms. Jackson,
Yeah.
could you give us a reset on Melvin Palmer, page 6? Just a standard.
He can wait right there and I'll get him. Okay.
Standard reset.
It's gonna be November 8th.
Okay, you can stand over there on the X. Your case is gonna be reset November 8th. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Who is this gentleman?
That's, Tom Kelly's office. Tom Kelly's office.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your attorney is out sick. So just stand right there. Once you give him his reset, you can come up to the one that should give you your reset, and then you'll be free to go. And you'll also be free to go, Mr. Palmer, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Mercantile, you have a blessed day as well. Who else do we have? Okay, I think, hold on, she talked to Peraza.
Does client have a, do we have sent the current deadline to be tested and his lawyer was gonna send the results?
Okay. Owens, is it Lawrence? That's Peraza.
Yes, sir.
Getting it. Okay, what else we got? Okay. Okay, let's see, okay. We'll be in recess.
Mark Fine.
What's your name?
Hernan Chavez. Hernan Chavez.
The family is H, I think, it's Hernan, is Hernan Chavez, H, it's ERNAN.
ERNA,
Yeah,
Hernan?
but with H, I think.
Okay, what? Now he has a warrant out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to tell them, sir, there's a,
Hold on, let me do this here. Is he represented by an attorney?
No, sir, no. What's that name?
He missed an arraignment?
Yeah, is he in here? Cause this is the reset from this docket from this police and ain't mine.
He wasn't on our dock.
He's next door.
Okay.
He's not in this court.
Yeah, sorry.
They say he's next door. She said,
That I'm assigning the case.
they said Callista reset the case.
Maybe she was helping.
Was it one case that was transferred or something?
It's cause number 330-546, Hernan Chavez.
And you said, you see where Mr.
And it says, reset from this docket by Collins,
When was it reset?
Are we on the same Hernan Chavez?
September.
Hernan?
Hernan Sanchez Chavez.
yeah.
With
I haven't known the last name.
the cases of assault,
What's the cause number?
330-546.
Yeah,
Doesn't show any of that in my S400.
she said, she could look at, yeah, she said for some reason it was reset from next door.
Maybe she was just helping.
Or was it a case that was transferred from here over there or something or what?
No, it's even higher number.
No, but sometimes they get transferred because of conflicts.
It's not on there.
Okay, okay. She said it was hours, maybe she was just helping. Miss Linda, but she said it was hours. And, he missed out the last Wednesday.
Wednesday was set on a Wednesday?
Mhm.
So he already came to the arraignment before, and then I guess he was reset to hire or something.
But there's no.
I'm just trying to figure out,
Me too.
because it would be on a Wednesday. Normally, a Wednesday means that he had came to court before on a Tuesday.
Can I have a word, sir?
Yeah, hold on a minute, let's let her find that out.
There's not a reset in here.
Okay, when,
Okay, I was supposed to be here in court last Monday, but I was in Mexico. That's when.
you said last Monday?
Yes, sir.
She said it was supposed to be on a
Well, that's
Wednesday.
weird because my bail bond, you know, how I've been calling them.
Okay, let me see. Let me see, I got the documents. That was the 4th. You say Monday?
Yes, sir, last Monday. I was in Mexico. for a family
Okay,
emergency.
hold on a minute. Should have been on Mr. Papa, Butcher, Trusted Butcher. I don't see you for Monday. You sure it was Monday?
That's what they told me in my bail bond, because you know how you call every Monday? I was in Mexico, so I called
Okay,
every
hold on a
Monday.
minute. Let me see. You might have been here. Might have been Tuesday. Tuesday was the 5th, wasn't it? Oh, that's right, because we had that Monday off, huh? Oh, let me see, Tuesday. Falk. Chavez, here we go. It's Tuesday.
So it's Tuesday, they told me Monday.
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
that was Tuesday. You matter of fact, your bondsman was Keith Day, is Keith Day.
Oh, what do you mean?
That's the name of your bondsman. His name is
Yeah, yeah.
Keith Day.
Oh, I think so, yeah. So what happened is, sir, every Monday I called, I was in Mexico, because my wife lives there.
Monday, we wasn't,
No.
we was closed that Monday, weren't we?
Yeah, but I was in Mexico for a couple of weeks because my wife was sick. So I called, you know how I call every Monday to my bail bonds, you know, hey, there's no court date, no court date. The previous week before Monday, where my wife lives, there's no reception. Sometimes the reception is bad and I had no signal for a couple of days. So my family member contacted.
So you
me.
saying your bondsman never told you had a court date?
Yeah,
That's what you're saying?
they tried to contact me, but I had no signal. So my cousin that bailed me out called me and told me to call bail bonds. It was like a Friday, a Thursday, Friday. So I called my bail bonds. They told me, hey, you need to be here Monday. I was like, I'm in Mexico. I'm far away. I can't make it. I told them, can you please call the court? They told me, let me try it. So they called the court.
No, wasn't that one Monday we was off?
Well, that's.
Was we?
I think that was.
Well, for some reason, I got a trial docket on that day, on that Tuesday. Well, that Tuesday, yeah, we reset it from that Monday.
So we
Okay.
reset it. That was-
Yeah,
that was
okay.
the day we had the bad weather.
So they
Yeah,
told me
okay.
that on the 11th, they told me it's fine, come back on be here the 11th. And
Well, I don't know about that. Well, they told you that just so that,
I know,
so you can get arrested, but I mean,
yeah.
you was required to be in court
I really apologize for that, sir.
Well, we're gonna have to, warrant has been issued. We're gonna have to execute the warrant.
Okay, I wanted to
Okay.
see if there's any way that I can,
No,
I'll come back, whatever day you put me, I'll be here for sure.
no, I mean, hold on a minute. Well, I mean, let me see, Higgins, what's his name?
I have a job interview too this tomorrow.
Yeah, Chavez, no. No, we're gonna have to execute the warrant.
Okay.
Okay.
If you can, there's no way you can help me out, sir.
Well, I mean, we file in our court's protocols, we're gonna execute the warrant.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I really wasn't aware.
Well, now your bondsman is responsible to get you here. And, that's why they get on your bond. If they don't get you here,
Yeah, they just.
their bonds get forfeited. And they're required to pay
Which is that,
them.
I was like in university, I was just there.
Well, I mean, you was out of town. I mean, at this point, like I say, that your warrant is gonna be executed. I can't give you any legal advice or anything of that nature. So at this time, just follow the bailiff.
Your Honor, Cade Davis,
Kate Davis.
he bonded out of Jasper County Jail on August the 19th.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to, he's putting this guy up, and so we're gonna have to get his clients to come in the courtroom. Just tell him to hold on him. What is that?
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're in session in 3 cases. First case is cause number 318574. Second case is cause number 323698. Third case is cause number 323700. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Cyrus D. Arion. Is that your full name, Mr. Arion? How you doing, Mr. Arion? Okay, Mr. Arion, we have your attorney, Antoine Freeman, who is appearing via telephone. Mr. Freeman, how are you doing?
I'm good, John.
Okay, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Arion's cases are set on the court's announcement docket. I understand that, let's see, Mr. Arion had a felony case set today as well. Is that correct, Mr. Arion?
Yes, sir.
Did they give you a reset on that case?
They only just gave me these PSI papers, but they said in 30 days.
So you got to get a PSI on your felony case? When are you set to come back? It should be on that paper that you're putting in your pocket.
They don't have a date.
They should have a court date on there.
They only have.
You're gonna have a return court date, I would imagine. They didn't give him a date? Okay, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Arion's cases, I guess his cases was reset. He has to do a PSI in his felony case. He hasn't received a court date yet. Do you want his misdemeanor case is set on the same date as his felony case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Arion, what we're gonna do is we're gonna excuse you. We're going to look on the computer and they may put it in sometime later today. When they put it in later today, we're gonna send notice to your attorney and your bondsman will be, do you have a bondsman in this case?
Not under those.
Okay, so we're gonna send notice to your attorney. Just stay in contact with your attorney. It's gonna be on the same day of your felony case. So, Mr. Arion, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you can go.
Thank you.
Okay, is that how Mr. Freeman has in another case?
Oh, Judge, I just filed dismissals on that.
Where is that? What docket?
It's on the announcement document.
Page 2.
Okay, okay, we're in session and cause numbers 323342, cause number 327638, and cause number 327640. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jamal Joseph West. Mr. West, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. West, you are represented by Attorney Antoine Freeman. Mr. West and Mr. Freeman, the district attorney's office has just advised me that Mr. West's cases will be dismissed, and I'm getting ready to sign those dismissals. And Mr. West, once I sign these dismissals, you can get a copy and you'll be free to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, your next case, Mr. Cade Arion Davis. There's some warrants out on him. He did not appear. It's our understanding that he bonded out of Jasper County Jail in August. So we just have to verify that he was given notice. If he was given notice, then we'll proceed with the calling of the bond forfeiture document. Could you check to see if he received any bond notice on those cases? The first dismissal is coming off. That's what happened. Okay, what was the AFRS? Okay, yeah. Mr. Freeman?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are some ARSs in his cases. The bondsman got off of the bond. And so, since his bonds were, well, he was given notice before that. So we're gonna proceed forward. We'll see if he makes an appearance.
Okay, I had to talk to him. It's like the record shows that he was in another county, so I had to talk to him. I don't know if he got notice at all on that.
Well, he had a bondsman. Did he have a bondsman? Oh, did his
I
bondsman?
thought he was in custody in another county.
Yeah, but I'm saying his bondsman was still on his bond
Okay,
at one point, and then his bond was filed at AFRS. Yeah, we'll see whether or not, before we proceed with a bond forfeiture, we'll verify whether or not he received notice. Okay, now, Mr. West, you can stand over there on the X. She's gonna give you your dismissals. Once you get your dismissals, you'll be free to go. and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Freeman, this will conclude your cases. Is that, you're free to go and you have a blessed day as well.
Your Honor, can I get a fax copy of those dismissal to add to the file, please?
Yeah, those warrants for the air press. We're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 329-580. Second case is cause number 329-582. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Dennis Wayne Guillory. Dennis Wayne Guillory, would you come forward? Mr. Guillory, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Guillory, did you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Guillory, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Guillory?
Fine.
That's good. Mr. Guillory, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, how are you doing?
Fine, Your Honor, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in Mr. Guillory cases?
We do.
Mr. Guillory, in cause number 329-580, the information alleges that on or about March 30th of 2021, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Guillory, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Guillory, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No, no.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty? Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Guillory, I have before me a document that is titled to misdemeanor plea admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Initially, you had the box checked Class B. I have to check the one that says DWI first Class B, because this is a DWI case. Do I have your permission to check that box?
Please, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Guillory, do you recognize this document? Okay, on page, no, did you waive a record in this case?
Yes, you did, Your Honor.
Okay.
You did, sir.
And Mr. Guillory, on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials JG. Oh, that's DG. Okay, Mr. Guillory, are these your initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest? And on the next page of the same document, Mr. Guillory, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature? And I have another document here. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Guillory, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Mr. Guillory, I also have a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Guillory, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to also offer State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any
We have no
objections?
objection, yeah.
No objection. State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you advised that counsel. Mr. Guillory, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Guillory, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Yes. Okay, Mr. Guillory, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and also find that your pleas and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The agreement is for 90 days, prorated over 1 year, a $1,000 fine, 60 hours of community service, DWI education, drug and alcohol assessment, forfeiture of the weapon in cause number 329582, and I have the motion to forfeit here for you, Judge. And then the state is dismissing cause number 329582.
Yeah. Mr. Guillory, the state is offering to let you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $422, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,422. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a year analysis fee of $15 each month. You'll also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class an initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation, is $205 a month. Will you be able to pay the $205 each month? You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service and attend a DWI education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. Now, I also have before me a motion to forfeit. In cause number 329582. Mr. Guillory, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing this document, did your attorney, Mr. Smith, go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Mr. Guillory, I will grant state's motion to forfeit the weapon in clause number 329582. And as part of this plea bargain, the weapon in clause number 329582 will be forfeited, and clause number 329582 will be dismissed, and you will be required to adhere to other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Guillory, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Guillory, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Guillory, you stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following in those directions, we'll give you a copy of the dismissal. You'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Sign the signature pen. You won't be able to see it, but I can see it on my screen. sign for me. You will raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that you've never been given deferred or strict probation in this state and any other state? You have any other pending criminal charges against you? You will report to probation and you're free to go.
That door is locked on that side. You gotta go on the other side. Mr. Smith. He has a copy of his dismissal if he wanted. Okay, let me try to get to.
Your Honor, if I could approach on Ventura, the court's right.
Oh, okay. Once you come, Paul. That we're in session and cause number. Could you get Giovanna Ventura? It's cause number 330156. Okay, you need some time to see if you can locate it?
Well, Your Honor, he has a concurrent felony. My understanding was that this case had been reset to October 25th. And I believe that might be set with the concurrent felony.
The felony is set for November 1st. According to this docket sheet. I'll give you some time to try to contact her. You can, she can make an appearance either if she's not in person, it could be by telephone or by Zoom.
Okay.
If that's. And we'll see her earlier. We're in session and cause number 320832. Case is style of state of Texas versus Darrell Lynn Washington. Mr. Boyd, do you have in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I know we've had so many prosecutors on it.
Yes.
I know I made an announcement before, and the announcement that I've made before, Mr. Smith probably is aware, that I know Mr. Darrell Washington. And does the state have any problem with me handling the case?
No, sir, Your Honor.
So you waive any potential conflicts of interest?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Smith? You waive any
Absolutely. Your Honor.
potential
We have no
conflicts
problem.
of interest? Okay. Okay. Mr. Washington, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Washington, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Washington, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Washington?
Wonderful.
That's good. Mr. Washington, you here with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith and Mr. Washington. I have before me an information that alleges that on or about December 26th of 2017, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Washington, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Washington, how do you plead guilty? Not guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Washington, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Washington, are these your initials?
Yes.
And let me do this here. On page 3 of this document, is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in this case as well?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Washington, I also have before me a document that is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Washington, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Smith, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And also states 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Any
No
objection? No objection. State's exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Washington, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Mr. Washington, Mr. Smith has advised in counsel, are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, I will accept your plea of no contest. Excuse me, not Mr. Smith, Mr. Washington, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
1 year deferred adjudication, $200 fine, 80 hours community service, anger management, and no contact with the victim, Poinsettia, Washington, Q-U-I-N-S-E-T-T-A.
Q-U-I-N-S-E-T-T-A, Washington. Okay. Mr. Washington,
Yes,
the
sir.
state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $200 plus court costs of $337, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $537. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Should a further, okay. And now, Mr. Smith, the total amount of your monthly installments, that is how much you will be required to pay each month, is $125 a month. Will you be able to pay the $125 each month?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, and you'll be required to attend an anger management class, and you cannot have any contact with Quincetta, Washington, and you will also be required to adhere to the standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Washington, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes. Sir.
Mr. Washington, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Washington, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. Entry of order of judgment. Okay, I guess I still have to read this here because there's an entry of an order. It doesn't say conviction. This is Texas Administrative Code Section 176.1. This is a family violence case, and so in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code Section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. You are, by entry of order or judgment, ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Beginning now, if you possess a firearm and ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number 3, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, a firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or center fire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders, conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking or trafficking case, and Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Washington, looking at this document, I'm looking down here where it says Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131. It says notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. And I don't think with a deferred adjudication, you haven't been convicted of, but your attorney can look into that further for you. Okay, but of the abundance of caution, I'm giving you the notice. Okay. Now, Mr. Washington, if you successfully complete your case, this case will be dismissed. It would not appear on your record as conviction, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to the attorney about a non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters.
Okay.
Stand on the X. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the directions of our clerk, you be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right. Back in session at cause number 330156. Case is style of state of Texas versus Giovanna del Rosario Ventura. We have Mr. Ventura appearing via telephone. And Ms. Ventura was in court earlier today. Ms. Ventura, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. Now, Ms. Ventura, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, how are you doing?
Your Honor, I'm seeing better days, but thank you for the.
Okay, we hope that you see some better days to come.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Wilkerson, what is your announcement in Ms. Ventura's case?
Your Honor, we don't have an offer yet because there is a pending felony that arose of the same incident that may actually dispose of this case as well.
Okay.
And so that case is set on November 1st. And so we'd ask this case be set with that.
Same day?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Now, Ms. Ventura, this case is going to be set on the same day with your felony case, November the 1st of 2021. Now, when you come to court on that day, you need to come here first to check in with the bailiff, and then you'll go to the 252nd District Court, which is 2 doors down. And then once you finish in that court, then you'll come back here to this court. Do you understand? Okay, you'll just come back to this court to let us know what happened. And if it's been reset, we'll probably reset it on the same day if you and your attorney prefer that. Okay? Okay, so Ms. Ventura, this will conclude your case. Your attorney will be given a copy of the reset. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and Mr. Wilkerson, you're free to go once you get your reset. And you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes.
County Court of Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. We're back in session with our pretrial conference docket. Last case that we have on our pretrial conference docket is cause number 320630-1. And the case is styled of State of Texas versus Abiel Salazar Cantu. Mr. Abiel Cantu was scheduled to be in court this morning for 9 a.m. For the pretrial conference plea docket. His name was called at or about 9 a.m. by the court's bailiff. He did not answer. He has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. We should note that his attorney, Mr. James Macon, did make an appearance on his behalf, but his client was not here. The time now is 12:43 a.m. Excuse me, 12:43 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Abiel Cantu? Abiel Cantu's name was just called by the court's bailiff. Abiel Cantu has not answered when his name was called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Cantu an opportunity to appear in court. He is not appearing in court. State, you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would request a bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Warrant should be issued for the rest of Abiel Cantu and his warrant shall be forfeited in cause number 320630-1. We will now move to our announcement docket. Last case we have on our announcement docket is cause number 326246. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Glenn Almhost. Glenn Almhost was scheduled to be in court for the court's announcement docket at 9 a.m. on today's date of October 11, 2021. At or about 9 a.m., Glenn Almhost's name was called by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Glenn Almhost did not answer. The time now is 12:45 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Glenn Almhost? Glenn almost did not answer when his name was called by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Almhost an opportunity to appear in court. He is not appearing in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would request a bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. And in cause number 326246, Mr. Glenn Almhost's bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for his arrest. And this, we still have one case left on our trial docket. And that case is cause number 324736. Charles Landry, Mr. Landry's attorney, Peter Doyle, did make an appearance. Mr. Doyle is trying to either get some information for the district attorney's office or have Mr. Landry make an appearance prior to 4 o'clock today, either in person by Zoom or by telephone. And so this will conclude the calling of the court's trial docket, the announcement docket, and the pretrial conference plea docket. All dockets are scheduled for 9 a.m. on today's date, October 11, 2021, in County Court Area Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.